All right, Mopar people, welcome back to the channel. I'm just Joe Bondo. So the Coronet's behind me. You can see it shining nice and pretty red. A lot of people think it looks good. I'll put up a couple pictures for you. And now I'll put up the pictures with the tape. You can see a little bit behind me. Everywhere you see tape, that is the exact representation of where a run is. If you see the big X's, that means basically those whole panels, they're orange peeled so bad that they need to be reshot. So here's my plan. I'll start with this side just because we're over here. Front fender, honestly, I mean, it looks great, but getting that run out right there and buffing through there is going to be a pain. So my plan is everything that has paint on it right now, minus the cowl panel and I believe the rockers where those clips are, everything else is getting re-cleared. And this is what we're going to call a flow coat. So a flow coat is where basically you sand all the garbage out, just like I have been between coats. Any nibs, any runs, anything. And the flow coat is basically a 1, maybe 2 coats of clear over the top of what you sanded to correct and give you a nice mirror shiny show car style finish. I wanted to show you these panels back here where my big X is. You can see that orange peel. Good night, it's bad. That's very, very bad. And if I go ahead and wet sand that, there won't be enough there to buff, and it lasts very long. See, I got a run riding through here too. There was just too many runs on this deal. Big boy there. I'm not ashamed to say it because I'm not an actual painter. I mean, I do this as a hobby. So fixing this stuff is kind of going to be fun for me just because when it's all said and done, I'm going to get a good product. Okay, so everything that is dulled out right now has been block sanded with first 600 grit and then 1000. I got a few little spots like that. I can run my 1000 block back over. Areas like this, I have something special I've never used before, but I'll show it to you. Haven't used it on the channel, rather. But just see how this panel is nice and flat. There's no trash, no nothing. I'm going to have to shoot a little more, spritz some color over these little spots where I had some burn throughs. I had one up here. This was a big, ugly run that was almost 10 inches long. Spots like this, they'll get covered, sanded here shortly. If you'll remember my first paint videos, or after my first paint videos, I had some runs through here, which is like the worst spot. Got those out. This little section right here probably took me as long as that entire bottom quarter. Reason being, I can use 1000 grit on my DA to get most of that. I had to hand sand through here. You can kind of see a difference. But I'm going to blend all that later with something. I'll show it to you. This door is perfect now. It had a high spot down here, actually, and it blocked out with a clear. So my clear kind of served as a top coat of primer. Think of it like that. I had a little dent right there. You can see that little nick. Most of that blocked out. So I think with my next coat, it's going to cover. Here's a big ugly run. It's underneath this tape, but it's kind of faint, but it's still there. So I'm going to hand sand that out. Then I'll hit this door. I wasn't going to do anything to that fender until I looked very closely. Had a bug get in there, remember? See that? That'll block out. I'll get all the little trash out of the top of here. This won't, because the finish is so nice, it won't take long to block that at all. I've got a soft block and I've got a hard block. There's a big ugly run under that tape. So basically what I'm doing is getting all this down to where when that next coat of clear hits, it's going to look like a show car. So wanted to give you an update on that. I may not get it painted in this video, but I just kind of wanted y'all to know what's the holdup. She is all blocked up. So my next step, I've got to get my little faint spots like that have not been touched with sandpaper yet. I know I had mentioned what I was going to do for that. This is a ultrafine scuff pad, and this is called 3M's Scuff It Paint Prep Gel. So basically, this is a lot like, kind of like Gojo hand cleaner. It's got that fine grit in it. When you put that fine grit onto your scuff pad and you scuff with it, it leaves a, I believe they call it about an 800 finish. So everywhere, example, like that little spot that I was scared to keep blocking because it was going to cut through. Anything like that, these areas here that are still shiny and bright, I'll show you what it looks like after I start scuffing. So you take your water hose, wet her down good. Filled my pad up, just a squirt down one side and kind of rubbed it in. Now you just wash the car, just like that. If there's any uneven finish or anything like that, it's going to turn it into a nice smooth finish for you. So it'll be smooth and scuffed. It's really nice for like this trunk jam here. It's faster actually to use this than it would be for me to try to mask all that off again. I'll mask it off on the bottom side, but I won't have to mask the top now because it's getting scuffed. So pretty neat stuff. If you want to try it at home, go for it. If you were doing a literal scuff and shoot, I would use this stuff. Be like this entire panel here. A little more water. There we go. Keep it lubed. A window channel. It's also cleaning. It's cleaning as you use it, which is cool. So what I'm going to do is basically just wash the entire car with it. Any little spots that I missed on those edges, it's not digging and cutting through them. Anywhere around the trim. This tail light here, see I got to burn through there, I got to reshoot. Then give you a lot nicer job. That edge, I'm gonna give it a scuff, blow it off, wash it off and show you. All right, I just did that little top, little piece there around the back, wiped her off. See how it's nice and uniform now. There was my spot that was low right here. I'll mark it with my finger. There you go. So it's now nicely sanded. I can hit that little low spot right there again, just like that. Etc. Scuffed through there. I may run back over the gutter one time. Be sure it's nice and scuffed up and hit that panel. But that's how quickly it moves. I'm gonna get the car kind of pushed in back into the shade. I don't want to be doing this out in the direct sunlight probably, you know, just for so the chemicals don't try to jump in somewhere they're not supposed to. Little areas like that. See, just take my scuffer, go through. It's not hurting that trim at all, anything like that. But going all the way around that trim, getting any little fine orange peel that was impossible to sand out. Areas like this that, yes, I can block sand that, but the bumper covers all of that. There's no need to block sand. It'd be a waste of time. That sort of stuff. For the most part, this is a very slick car now. I can put my name on that, say I painted it. And with all the chrome and everything else on it, it'll look really nice and be a cool driver.